Hello everybody, I hope you're all doing very well. Today I'm super excited because I get to share with you Real LED Volume Designer. And I'm just going to go over a few features and functions, and then we can dive into creating our own LED volume. So Real LED Volume Designer has been designed from the ground up to allow you to create realistic LED volumes, ceilings, walls and floors based on real world LED pixel pictures and panels and specifications from various manufacturers, and you can actually create your own LED panel in here as well. It's all included. So without further ado, let's dive in and take a look. So LED panels in Real LED Volume Designer are created from LED panel presets. So I've created a bunch of presets here that represent most of the industry standard LED panels at the moment. So what do LED panel presets consist of? So let's open one up. So it consists of an LED pixel map, LED panel pixel map, and a LED panel preset. So if we open up one of these presets, we can see in here that this preset data table contains all the specifications that the manufacturer has provided. And down the bottom, it includes a link to its little LED pixel map here. If you open up the LED pixel map, you can see it's a virtual representation of the real LED pixels that you'll find on an LED panel. And these pixels are correctly sized and spaced to match the physical characteristics of the real LED panel. So I'm going to show you now, if you don't want to use one of these LED panel presets, if you have a LED panel that is potentially an experimental panel or from a different manufacturer, I'm going to show you now how you can create your own. So if we dive into LED maps, and we can jump into LED Panel Designer. It'll look empty when you first click on here, but if you look in the outliner, there is the LED Panel Designer blueprint here. So if we jump into details, we can see some parameters down here that we need to fill out. So currently we're in design mode. This allows you to enter all your specifications without the LED panel constantly regenerating, which takes a few seconds. So if we expand this a little bit here, we can see currently we're in manual mode. Manual mode, you can use, it just allows you to manually input all your LED panel specifications. Otherwise, you can create or duplicate one of these LED panel presets from the folder I just showed you and fill that out. And once you've done that, once you've filled out either this or the selected one of your LED panel presets, we can go from design into build mode. And then once you click on build, the blueprint is going to go through all the specifications in your preset, and it's going to populate that and generate real pixels and spread them across the LED panel here that you can see right here. And this will account for non-square panels as well. So if you have a rectangular panel, it will auto compensate for that. So now you can see it's generated our LED pixels, and you can see them here. They are correctly spaced and correctly sized. So once we have generated that, we can jump up here to save generated pixel map texture. So if we click on that, we will get a, I've already generated one, so we already have one here. If we jump down here into blueprints, we can see we have one here. It's in the Real LED Volume Designer blueprint directory, and you'll have your little LED pixel map here. So what you want to do is to take your pixel map and move it over into the LED panel presets folder. So if we jump over there, then you're free to go ahead and duplicate one of these presets and fill it out with your own specifications. And then inside the preset, you want to assign the LED panel pixel map that you've just created. So a complete LED panel preset contains all this data and the pixel map, which is generated from this data. It's important that you have both because the LED Volume Designer uses some of this, and then the LED panel pixel map generator also use some of this. So once that's all compiled, we can jump back into our demo scene and take a quick look. So if we jump into maps and demonstration, we can take a quick look around and I can show you over a few of the features, and then we can jump into creating our own LED volume. So if I jump in here, go into game mode, you can see we have a ceiling array and we have a wall array. So the wall array is generated from one of these LED panel presets. If I change it to one of the other presets, like this one here, you'll notice that the LED panel representation changes. So it's changed to a different aspect ratio now. They're no longer square panels, they are rectangular panels. And because of that, the wall has got a lot bigger. So we can just swap back to our default panels here. Different panels have different resolutions. This is in real life as well. It's quite common to have LED ceiling panels that have a much lower resolution because they're just being used for light or potentially reflections. And the same with floor panels. Occasionally floor panels are glossy, so they're not matte, they're actually polished. And then they're more for a funky vibe rather than a realistic virtual production environment. So as you can see in here, we've got a few different things going on. As we come closer to the LED wall, we have a bit of a glancing angle here, which you'll see is reflected in our preset here. So we have a maximum viewing angle of 140 degrees, which is a manufacturer specified parameter. So you can see as we get at more of a glancing angle to these panels, these ones are turning dark because the LEDs in these panels do not support that wide of a viewing angle. We can actually see that down here. We've got LED panel viewing angle. We can enable it or disable it. And if you disable it, the LEDs will work out 100% regardless of the viewing angle. I'm going to leave it enabled because it's slightly more realistic. Something else to point out is up the top here, LED panels have a certain amount that they can bend between each panel. In the case of this LED preset, it is set at a maximum concave of 5 degrees. So if I turn on LED panel maximum angle gizmo, you'll see between each panel here, so where these panels are joining, there's a little gizmo that appears. And these are all green, which means these are within the 5 degrees that is specified in the LED panel preset. You can see this little fellow, he's not. So he's obviously bending at more than 5 degrees. So I could go back and adjust my curve, which I would need to for all these panels to make it realistic. Or I could swap the panel model to a different panel that supports a greater concave angle. So that's just a neat little feature I wanted to show with you. We can jump back in here and turn that off. We have a few different ways to support content to the wall. So we have image, we have calibration, and calibration is very handy because if you want to, let's switch to calibration on the ceiling here. Occasionally in LED volumes in virtual production, you may want to have a physical light that's poking through your LED volume to put some light on your actor or actress. So in that case, you want to punch out some of these LED panels. LED panels are removable. So say I wanted to remove H011, I can jump down here to panels to remove. And here I've got an array of panels that I've already put in to cut all these corner panels off, because I want them removed. And say I want to remove this panel here, I can just go down the bottom here and add it here. And then we're going to punch out that panel, and now we can put a spotlight in here. You'll find a little demo spotlight in here. So we have a little studio light here. It's actually based on a real world studio light from a very well-known manufacturer. So you could punch that through there and then add a spotlight if you so pleased, and then you have your sunlight coming through here. So that's a nifty little feature I just wanted to point out very quickly. You can also deactivate panels in here, so that's just essentially switching them off. If they are switched off or if they are removed, as you'll see down here, they'll be removed from the power consumption. This is just a little specifications readout, so you can see that how many panels you have, how many estimated nodes it will take to run these panels. And you can set your node resolution down here. So this is node resolution your end display cluster nodes will be running at. If you know that, you can fill it out here. Then you get an estimated node count of how many nodes it will take to power the wall. You have an estimated power consumption on average. You have the length of the wall. So this one's only 11 meters. It's a short wall and it's 9 meters high. You also get the complete resolution. In this case, it's 7,000 by 5,700 or so. And then if we jump back up here, we can jump over and actually take a look at building our own LED wall.